This is how we calculate cost of goods sold under a periodic method. You start out with your beginning inventory, you add your purchases, you then subtract your ending inventory, and you get what's called cost of goods sold. So under the periodic method, there is a formula for calculating cost of goods sold. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory equals cost of goods sold. Let's look back on those adjusting entries. What we're doing in these adjusting entries is we are adjusting and affecting cost of goods sold. First, cost of goods sold represents our beginning inventory plus our purchase. Look at it again. First, cost of goods sold in our first adjusting entry after we've done our physical count at December 31st equals our beginning inventory plus our purchase. So we are affecting cost of goods sold for the total of our beginning inventory plus our purchases. The next step is we are then going to reduce cost of goods sold by our ending inventory. As you can see in this problem, we are reducing cost of goods sold by our ending inventory to get the true amount of cost of goods sold. So there's a two-step process under the periodic method that we have to employ to calculate cost of goods sold. That two-step process is on the board. It's the beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory gives us cost of goods sold. How it is in a journal entry is cost of goods sold is going to be beginning inventory plus purchases. That's step one. Then step two, you're going to reduce cost of goods sold by the amount of ending inventory. Where did this 348 come from? It came from a physical periodic count. Once we employ these two steps under the periodic method, we can then determine what's cost of goods sold. Remember, perpetual automatically goes to inventory, automatically goes to cost of goods sold. Periodic, you have to do a physical count, then you're going to require to do two adjusting entries to cost of goods sold. Under the perpetual method, there were two adjusting entries, one to record the sale, the other one to record the cost of sales associated with that sale. Under the periodic method, there are two adjusting entries to cost of goods sold. Write this formula down because this formula you need to understand under the periodic method. Beginning inventory plus purchases, these two increase cost of goods sold. Then you subtract this out from cost of goods sold. And then you get the true balance in what cost of goods sold is. And that true balance now, according to this problem, we can see as the problem moves forward, it actually equals 602. Let's look at it. Forget about the total sales. Let's look at how cost of goods sold was calculated. Beginning balance, which was 150, our purchases, which were 800, gives us our goods available for sale of 950, minus ending inventory of 348 gives us cost of goods sold of 602. Let's go back through that one more time. Beginning inventory, which again, we were crediting that inventory from the beginning and debiting cost of goods sold. Purchases, we were getting rid of that by crediting it and debiting cost of goods sold. It gave us what's called goods available for sale. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Minus the ending inventory gives us the cost of goods sold under the periodic method. We will get back in 1 second and talk about goods available for sale, and this conversation will continue.